Radio in motion. Program loading in 3, 2, 1. Program activated.
Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, here we go.
Radio in motion.
All right, welcome back to the show. Tonight's Neon Nights, going back to some of the greatest sort of 80s sounds. But right now we're going to have another installment of The Ugly Truth. And the truth is, well, the truth can be ugly, but it can set you free. And the truth is, I'm only going on and talking about all the things that are happening in the U.S. with Trump because I feel like just out of the gate, I think someone should let him know that he's got 4 years left, because he has done more in a few weeks, in a month, than the entire administration, the last administration, did in years. And it just goes to show that it can be done. It's just a choice not to do it. And you're like, oh, that's because he's just doing all insane things and silly things. When I again, I'm going to articulate this as best I can, because I'm not even someone who's very political. I'm not left or right. As I told you, I've said before, I am for people. I am just for logic. I'm for living well. And yeah, I am for less government. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's nice to have ambulance and police. Maybe they could fix the potholes now and again. But the fact is you call on them when you need them. I don't need, oversight in my life. I think, people are smart. We can handle ourselves. So that's all I am about. And it's too divisive these days. It's too much left and right. It drives me crazy. And I do feel like, and I know people like this, they really have like Trump derangement syndrome. Even if this individual does something good, it doesn't matter. Everything else in their mind, it overlaps anything that he could possibly do. And the things like, when for a whole year, for longer than that, calling him the man who's literally Hitler. Well, you know what you do when Hitler takes office? You put a bomb in the desk. But that's not what happened. Everyone shook hands and they let him in, and now he's the president. You know what I'm saying? It's all bull crap is what I'm saying. It is a game. Politics is it's just a show, folks. The same people that called him Hitler, and this is, Biden and Obama. You can look these videos up. When he was, before he was even inaugurated, they were at parties and smiling, having a little chat and a bit of a laugh. You don't do that with Hitler, okay? Politicians play this game. Get over it, folks. Don't be so caught up in the drama. Before I talk about Trump, I have to just drop this in really quick. Another total shill, Jimmy Kimmel. I still can't believe he's on the air. Real comedians have it tough because they are the social satire. They are the face of what's really happening in the world. And the fact is, a real comedian will joke about anything and everything. Like I say, when it comes to comedy, the human condition, comedy is about everything. And if you go far enough beyond your audience, the city you're in, the town, the country, the world, you're going to say something, no matter what you make fun of, no matter what's funny. Someone's going to get triggered and be offended. So why even try? The point is with real comedy comes a non-biased view. You make fun of both. You make fun of the left or the right or politicians and a little kid, an old man, a rich man, a poor man, a woman. You make fun of everyone. The human condition is hilarious. And we all laugh together, looking at each other of all colors and genders and monetary positions. It doesn't matter because it's just funny. Laughter is beautiful. Comedy is amazing. Jimmy Kimmel is not a comedian, okay? He is just a shill. And I swear to God, he has the worst Trump derangement syndrome. His whole show, he'll be thrilled. The next 4 years, he's got another 4 years of just making fun of Trump. That's all he does. It's just bizarre. He can't see the forest through the trees. He really can't. My opinion is, I think he's a total cuckold. I picture him in the corner sucking his thumb while some huge guy makes love to his wife. That's just what I think. He is just a big baby. Why am I going on? So he did this skit, and it was about RFK. He's got this. Well, anyone associated with Trump or surrounded by Trump is also on Jimmy Kimmel's radar. He makes fun, and he even made fun of RFK's voice, which is quite despicable because that's actually a medical issue. It's a handicap. To be like making fun of somebody, you know, who had lost an arm. That's nasty. But essentially, my point is he's making fun of RFK Jr. because this man wants to go after Big Pharma and the FDA. He wants to hold the FDA accountable. In America, it's the FDA, but around the world in general, you know, the people who look after your food. But in the U.S. especially, he wants to hold them accountable to make sure they don't put crap and chemicals and poison in the foods and not tell people, and then be surprised when there's, you know, a huge epidemic of chronic disease because everyone is hugely clinically obese. Oh, surprise! It's because they eat crap, and it's not their fault. When you're at the store and you're presented with crap, and the crap comes in a beautiful, colorful box, and it's cheaper than buying an apple, when an apple and fruit is more expensive than the crap. Do you understand? So he's trying to hold these people accountable, and Big Pharma as well. And I'm sorry, Big Pharma is not all it's wrapped up to be. When money is involved, when billions and trillions is involved, sick people make money. Healthy people, if we were all well and healthy, Big Pharma just went out of business. Okay, and if you don't get that, I can't help you. It just makes me sad that he's making fun of even RFK Jr. again, who's someone who has a long lineage of being a Democrat. My God, John F. Kennedy, all the Kennedys. Just the fact that he noticed that President Trump is on the right track with the people and what needs to be done. Anyway, I just think it was ridiculous that he now even involves anyone associated with Trump, even though they're on the road to doing the right thing for people to help us be healthy. What's wrong with that? Why make fun of that? So now here's the other one. You won't believe this, I think, and I'm going to play this. Trump said this was on C-SPAN. By the way, I had a hard time trying to find this video because obviously all the mainstream media don't want to report on this. But he pretty much, well, he didn't pretty much say, he said 100% he is looking to cut the military budget in half. Do you understand what that means? I'm going to just give you an idea of what the U.S. spends. 800, I can't even say the number, it's so big, 850 billion. More than 11% of the federal budget is spent on military. And he says he's looking to cut that in half. Again, you're like, well, what does that mean to me? I don't care. I don't live in America. I don't blah, blah, blah. The military-industrial complex is a worldwide machine, and America does lead the way with that. Again, I've said this. You wonder why you can't buy your kid an icy pole, why you can't go to the movies with your family, why you can't get your car fixed. You know, you want to understand why you're struggling. You can't put fuel in the car. You're going to work a 9 to 5 and you just don't get it. That's why. Because the money's going out the door. Your taxes are going out the door to ridiculous stuff that nobody needs. I'm not saying we don't need a military, but I don't think you need to spend that much. And it's not necessarily about spending. It's about, backdoor deals and wastage and bull crap. So I'm going to play the clip because I think it's one of those things that's it's hard to believe that you actually hear anyone in the government saying they want to cut military spending. Here it is.
Came back and we got like the whole world is blowing up. So when we straighten it all out, then I want to have one of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi of China, President Putin of Russia, and I want to say, let's cut our military budget in half.
Do you understand? Nobody has said that. And even you say again, he's just pandering and playing to the audience. You know what? You don't go on TV and say that for real if you're not even going to have a crack at it. And the fact is, he is looking to speak with Putin and China. And that's astounding. And now this is the part that cracks me up. The people who have a logical brain, who don't have Trump derangement syndrome, even they are saying, yes, even people on the left, Democrats, again, I can't stand the divisiveness, but yes, for many who are on the left who feel like they're in the club and the club says you must hate Trump. These are the rules. You have to come in and sign in. You have to hate Trump. Even they are saying this is unprecedented and like a serious, a momentous occasion to actually say they want to sit down with the world leaders and try to cut the military spending in half. Again, people are literally saying it's the most extraordinary proposal they've heard a United States president make in their entire lifetime, in their lifetime of reporting, living in Washington, or being in Washington in government. I'm just saying, even if you have Trump derangement syndrome and, orange men bad, can you stop and think of what that means if even that part gets done? But no, that's the thing. You won't see it on the news. They won't report about it. They'll just say he's nuts. And that's how you know that politics is a game. It's not about left or right, Republican or Democrat. It is about, it's not even the haves and the have-nots. It is about the power elite, and that's a fact, and so many people tied to the military-industrial complex and all the money it provides, and that includes people like Bill Gates, who wants to, vaccinate the entire world, vaccinate animals, babies. He wants to jab everyone. He wants, to make sure he is in control. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just saying, Bill Gates, it's interesting that he's obsessed with that, and he is in bed with Big Pharma, and he makes billions off that. I'm just saying, he's not your friend. So that is the machine, and it's those people. And they can be on the left or the right. That's the funny thing. And they are the warmongers, and that's a fact. So less war. Also, the other one was he wanted to reduce the nuclear arsenal. So reduction of nukes. How is that a bad thing? That is 100% a good thing. The only people it would upset are the people that it hurts their pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can tell. So you want to see where the lines are drawn? Look at how people react when it doesn't matter if it's a Republican president or Democratic president. I'm sorry that it wasn't your feeble old man Biden, Democrat president, who said this. I'm sorry. I wish it was, because you would have celebrated him. Biden's a hero. He's cutting the military. He's a hero. There'd be songs and flags and parades, but it's not. It's Orange Man Bad said it. And this is where you can see the dividing lines. People who still say, oh, it's bad for this and that, and you can't do that. And there's others who go, wow, the man ain't joking. He is not for wasting money, wasting Americans' money. He is about peace. And that's amazing. I saw a headline on CNBC headline. Defense stocks drop right after Trump said this. I don't want to be mean, but I could care less. I really don't give a shit. Get a different job. Evolve. Get a different job. Yes, it may affect, again, people who are in the military-industrial complex. And no, that doesn't mean people are in the military. I'm not anti-military. We need those people. Those people protect us. The people who are in the defense force. Yes, we still need protection. But do you understand that number I put out there? Okay, $850 billion is not necessary just for one country. You can still have a defense force and not have that. The point is, it's a cash cow. Simple as that. Like even the Ukraine, they gave so much. The U.S. gave so much money to the Ukraine, and half of that money went missing. But I still bet that they were able to produce a report on where most of it went missing, whereas the bloated, military budget in the U.S. couldn't account for. If they were audited, there's no way they could account for, nor would they account for $850 billion. Nobody keeps that many receipts. And so also, the current White House cabinet, everyone around Trump, they all have the same path, which is actively looking to end the Ukraine war, which is just a waste. I'm sorry. And for everyone who goes, well, what about the babies and the women and the children? It's not about that. It never was. Have you ever seen videos from the Ukraine? And I don't mean the war-torn battlefront. There's a lot of money going through there, and people living normal lives, and it's all the money that you sent them. The fact is that war needs to end. And this is Pete Hegseth. I'm just reading some of the notes here. So he's the new defense secretary. Again, this is an unprecedented thing for the defense secretary to call for the end of war. Okay, what? Really? You mean not the continuation and the endless cash cow of money? No. So addressing NATO, saying that we want to end this, and we'd certainly like Ukraine to return to, the prosperous nation it was before. But the fact is that, and this is the thing they're stuck on, the idea that Russia is going to pull back and secede and give them the territory back, to return to the 2014 border and pre-Ukraine. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That is not how it works. I'm sorry. Okay, for better or for worse, and Zelensky is a wannabe dime store warmonger. I'm sorry, warlord. He is not what you think he is. They poked the bear. They poked Russia, and they found out. Okay, they poked him and they found out. And no, he's not gonna give back those territories. You lost them. You done lost. And again, reminding you that you think that NATO is all these esteemed countries and they all get together and we want peace. No, they are also their own hungry military-industrial complex superpower on their own. Everyone who is linked, everyone who surrounds it, NATO is its own business now, okay? And they only want to keep it alive because it is a cash cow for many people. And that's why NATO and Biden encouraged Ukraine. And you can look this up yourselves, as I always say. Don't listen to me. I could be a maniac. Look this up for yourself if you actually care why these things affect you. So Ukraine are the ones that broke their treaties. These are the Minsk treaties. They broke them twice to start this war. And that's the thing, It's time for that to end. And it's also time for Europe I think they want Europe to have their own police force and not American soldiers. I think that's great. I think that's fine. I think it should be dealt with over there. The fact is it's a typical proxy war. And again, you don't believe me? You look that up. You look up the reason why they even want that to keep going. Okay, this isn't about women and children being persecuted. This is just a war because a warlord, Zelensky, was pushed by his buddies, NATO and Biden and the previous White House. Yeah, do it. Let's get in, because war is profitable. War is profit, and it's good business for those who are in business. That's a fact. You stop war, people get upset, and those are the people you need to look at. Look at their face. When the President of the United States says going to cut military spending in half, and they are gobsmacked, those are the people you instantly do not trust, because they don't have your best interests at heart, period. They only have their bank account in their mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you're like, all politicians are like that, that's the way it is, that's life, then I can't help you. You're part of the problem. Anyone listening, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance. Just like John Connor, that's the fact. If you just go, whatever, it's out of my hands, then I can't help you. Then you are the problem. So yeah, like I was saying before, Democrats, they aren't the hippie-loving protesters and peace lovers that you remember, because there are plenty of Democrats who maybe they were hippies in the 70s, but now they want to keep their Rolls Royce and Mercedes, and they want to keep their high life. And that's a fact. And this affects it. Stopping war affects their pocketbook. Simple as that. And they're warmongers. And those are the ones who have not only, theirs is more about money than Trump derangement syndrome. Other people just have pure virus Trump derangement syndrome. And again, something like the Pentagon. Everyone's worried about Elon Musk, and he is going after, like I said, the U.S. Ridiculous overspending and wastage. The Pentagon is another one. When I talk about auditing, they have failed every audit. They have failed 3 audits in the last couple of years. So again, millions and millions, hundreds of millions just wasted, and oh wow, it's too complicated. We can't account for that. We just spent it. I don't know. We had a party. There was a kegger. It got out of control. I don't have receipts. You know what I'm saying? Why does it affect you? Because it's everyone in the government is paid by taxpayer dollars. You're paying for these fools to not even be able to to keep their books. You have to. Come tax time and say, I don't know, I was drunk. There's $100 billion. I don't know. Could be under the couch. Maybe it's buried in the yard. You'd be in jail. You'd be in jail. So why does the government get a pass? Okay? This is what I'm saying. You also notice this so there was another candidate running now. She was a Republican candidate, Nikki Haley, so a Republican candidate, but there are plenty of Democrats who go, oh, she's the right pick. Of course, I'm sure she was the right gender pick, which is, again, I don't want to go into that here. I believe it should be about, your professionalism, skill, and merit and suitability for the job. It shouldn't be about ticking a box. But Nikki Haley was the right pick because she and her family and all of her pocketbook is completely intertwined. She has a huge legacy of military-industrial complex money pouring into her bank accounts. Okay, when the millions are pouring in, when the cash, it's just flowing cash. Now they speak the same language. You understand? It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. It doesn't matter your politics. It doesn't matter. Are you in with the cool club, the elite club, the money club? If you speak the money language, you're in. It doesn't matter what your politics are. They can really give a crap. If you're like, yeah, no, we better keep that war going. I think the only really way through this is more war. More war, because we need money. So the Democrats were happy to back Nikki Haley. But the minute Trump starts talking about war is not his thing. He's for the American people. Let's treat it like a business and let's get some money back. Oh my God, they all went nuts. And they're still going nuts. So, look, that's just, my take on that. Like I say, $850 billion, I think that could get cut in half. Also, when you think about, so China and Russia, if we're going to go to war, they are the ones to worry about. I'm not saying it's going to be with them, but there was a movie recently, I think it's the Captain America movie, where the U.S. went to war with Japan. Okay, they do that because they don't want to upset their demographic in China because, they got to sell the movie in China. The fact is I'm sorry to say, yeah, Japan, I don't think that's going to happen. And also, they don't have the military might, not even a fraction of what the U.S. does. So let's be honest. We're talking China and Russia. So $850 billion in the U.S., China, an astounding more people, who live there, but even they only spend about $230 billion. By the way, that number is, I know it's still disgusting. You're like, again, I can't go to the store and buy milk. So again, think about that. $230 billion is ridiculous, but it's not $850 billion. So I'm just saying, even those countries which you think they're the warmongers, they don't even spend that much. Or they do spend it, but they're held accountable for it, especially in China probably. I bet you'd get in deep shit if you said, I don't know where the money went. Yeah, someone in trouble. So yeah, what can I say? Orange Man wants to make sure that the hardworking people get some of their money back, and we stop wasting it on wars. And we try to talk like adults, and he wants to talk to the world leaders and sit down. And even probably, and he said this before, he's happy to find ways to help them prosper. His tariffs thing is a bit of a reaction. I think in the end, he wants to make deals with other countries and say, the U.S. wants to be independent and proud, but we still want to make sure you're one of our allies. We want to help you too. And why can't that include Russia and China? Well, of course it includes China. The microphone I'm talking on, the phone, everything is already from China. But again, if they can talk about the road to peace, why would you get mad at the President of the United States who talks about peace? Because Orange Man bad, and he's taking money away from your bank account and your military-industrial complex cash cow machine. That's why. And if you don't see that, again, I'm not here to force you. I'm just here to talk about some facts. You fact check them. You decide for yourself what's right or what's wrong. But again, I dare say, if you are a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat because that's what your father was or your father's father, and you think they are the side of peace, I think, especially in the U.S., the government itself, it is only about, like I say, the corrupted swamp power elite who want to hold on to the finite resources of money and power and minerals, because there's not that much of it left in the world. There isn't. It's a fact. And they see all of us, the hordes of us regular people, us disgusting, dirty workers, as the problem. We're the problem. Okay? And that's the truth of it. It's not even rich and poor. There are millionaires, multimillionaires, who have worked their butt off, and they're still not in this club. A club that, again, it's far beyond. It is the people like, BlackRock and Vanguard and these companies that you can look them up yourself. They own everything, a piece of everything. Your house, a piece of it, the land. They are the people behind the scenes. You're like, oh my God, Sonny, you're full on conspiracy theory. I'm not full on. I'm taking the facts and trying to show you can understand that there are certain people that don't want to lose their power, and they are beyond you. You know there are people. And look, I won't lie, Elon Musk has the potential to be in that. He speaks the same language as these people, but at the moment, he is still on the right side of, let's get into these government agencies and cut the crap. And if this government agency has no purpose, let's get rid of it. Again, if he's just pandering to the crowd, let him then for a moment. But you have to understand this. There are people, Klaus Schwab and all these sort of people. There are people who are even beyond Elon Musk. And if you don't understand that, if you don't know there's people who work in the shadows because money affords you that, the kind of money that's just disgusting, then I can't help you see that. I hope you see that. I hope you understand. And this is about the people made their choice in the U.S., and he's giving them what they want. He's trying to give them their lives back. And again, I believe that has a trickle effect for the whole world, for Australia, for the UK, to see that as a good thing, because it will affect the bottom dollar, and I hope it does in a good way. So that's all I have to say about that on The Ugly Truth. And like I say, I leave the decision up to you, but I think things are looking up and feeling good lately. All right, more great music tonight on our Neon Nights 80s flashback on Radio Motion. We'll be right back after a word from our awesome sponsors.